I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Angela Everett.
Here.
Mrs. Gadsden.
Here.
Mrs. Galbo.
Here.
Mrs. Garnett. Mr. Garnett.
Excuse.
Default action.
Mr. Munoz.
Here.
Ms. Patchen.
Here.
Mr. White.
Here.
Mr. Zob.
Here.
Mrs. Thompson.
Here.
Dr. Lopez, would you like to review the fire exits?
Yes, the fire exits are to the audience's back, and there are 2 doors back there.
Great. And would you like to introduce our workshop tonight?
I would. Tonight, we're very pleased to have Mr. Soltish, the principal of the middle school, and his team, which I will let him introduce, to share information about our middle school.
Good evening, everyone. Hello. Thank you for having me this evening. I'll do my best to be as good as the elementary schools if I can. I know they put on a nice show. I'd like to start by introducing my administrative team. So we have Mr. Giametta, who's one of my assistant principals, and acting assistant principal, who's currently in for Mrs. Orser, none other than Mr. Romanino. So I thank them both for everything they do. I'd like to start the presentation off this evening by introducing Mrs. Wright, as well as members of our school's drama production. They'd like to talk to you a little bit because we have a production coming up.
Hi, we're Roundabout Middle School Drama Club.
On Friday, December 5th and Saturday, December 6th, we are presenting Guys and Dolls Jr.
The show starts at 7 p.m. both nights. Tickets are $6 in advance, $8 at the door.
We hope you can make it.
Thank you.
When you see a guy with your stars in the sky, you can bet that he's doing it for some dough. When you spot a John waiting out in the rain, chances are he's been saying as only a John could be for a Jane. When you meet a gent, pay him all kinds of rent for a film that could fly in the Taj Mahal. Call it sad, call it funny, let's bet that even money that the guy's only doing it for some girls, some girls, some girls. The guy's only doing it for some girls.
If you want to see more, you have to come to the whole thing. Good job, you guys. You can go.
Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you. Thank you very much, Mrs. Wright. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Tonight I'm also going to call up 2 of my teachers one at a time. I'd like to give them the opportunity to speak about guests that we've had in our building that have presented to different groups of students so far this year. The first person I'd like to call up is Mrs. LaSpada. She's our Synergistics Technology teacher for 7th and 8th grade students. And she was able to, through all her own doing, get W.B. Mason to bring a 3D printer to our school to do demos for her classes all day long. So I'm going to call her up so I don't steal any more of her material, but I'd like to thank her, and I'd like to let her speak about it momentarily.
Thank you. So W.B. Mason last year had a trade show in Connecticut, and so I went to it and I saw this 3D printer. And then they came in to invite us again this year to go in January. on a great trip, free trip, 19th January. It's a trade show. I told them I'd plug it a little bit for them today. And they brought in a 3D printer last week, and they talked to the kids about what 3D printing was. And if you've ever, I don't know if anybody's ever seen one in action, but it's an amazing, I dropped off a bunch of little trinkets around up front for everybody to take a look at. And, I don't know if we can share them in the audience later or what. But it just is a spool of plastic that came in. It's like an extruder, and it just layer by layer made these items. And we had just done a little joint project with math for a geometry, and we did cake boxes. So we made forks because the best cake box won the cake. So that's why you have a lot of forks up there. So we made a lot of forks. So it was a great opportunity for the kids to see a new type of technology, and it was also, I heard a lot of feedback from parents when the parents came in about the kids going home and saying what a great time they had with watching the 3D printer. So it's a great new STEM edition it could be. Just plugging that in there too. Just getting that in there to you. So that's just some of the items that it made, and if you ever go on 3D printing, you can see what it is all about. And we had a great time. It was nice. They were very nice. And they're going to bring it in again, probably before Christmas. So we'll send out an invitation so you can come see.
Please do.
It's really amazing. It's really amazing.
We'd like to
Yeah.
come there.
I'm done.
The 3D printer really was amazing to watch. The students who were in the classrooms got the opportunity to see the actual fork made in its entirety before their class periods were over. So, I mean, they were thrilled. There's still a student that comes to me every day that thinks that I'm going to buy her one. So every time she sees me, she reminds me. So if she's watching, I have not bought you one yet. But the next person I'd like to bring up is Mrs. DeCandia. So if you would come on up for me. Mrs. DeCandia went out of her way, and I'm going to allow her to talk about the experience, but she brought a guest speaker to our school from Bridges to Community, and it was just a great experience for the students in her classes to meet this speaker and hear what they had to say. So I'd like to let her speak about that.
This past July, I took a service learning trip through the organization Bridges to Community to the Dominican Republic. I spent a week in a very impoverished village near the Haitian border helping to build a youth center made out of recycled drinking bottles. We had no running water, no electricity, and no bathrooms to speak of. It was a very rewarding and humbling experience for me. I was able to share this experience with my student. One of the guys that I spent a week with in the DR came to the U.S. in October, and he came to visit our classes, my classes. Jorge Montero grew up in a very poor village in the DR, and he shared his story about growing up with no shoes, very little food, no toys, no means of transportation. He did tell the students, though, even though they had very little materially, there was still a lot of love and happiness in his life. My students were completely enthralled and had many questions for Jorge. Some even expressed interest in taking a service trip of their own someday. It was a wonderful learning experience for myself and for my students. Thank you.
I'd like to thank both of you for coming out this evening to talk to us about that. Thank you. Some other things that I would like to go through, just some updates to the building, different things that would be nice to share with people. In terms of the classroom, this year we do have a new program at the 6th grade level. That is a 6th grade technology class taught by Ms. Wakeu. That class is going well. They're actually utilizing our MGI classroom for their classes as well as one of our computer labs. So that's a new program to the school. Another new program we have this year is we began advanced math at the 6th grade level. So this is the first year of the advanced math course for 6th grade students. The reason we did that was because of the gaps created with the Common Core and trying to still maintain having advanced courses to allow students the opportunity for high school credit while still at the middle school. And so far, we've gotten excellent reports from the teachers and the students that that's going well. Grab and Go breakfast. You've probably heard it by now, but we piloted the Grab and Go breakfast program. Last year, our breakfast numbers were somewhere around 25 to 50 students on a given day. With our population being 50% free and reduced lunch, we felt that there was a need to really get that program going. Karen Pagano was unbelievable with bringing the vision to me, and we've gone with it. The staff and the teachers have been great about it. Our numbers currently, we're averaging between 100 and 150 students a day having breakfast at the school, because now they're allowed to get a bag, take the breakfast to their first period class, and eat that the first few minutes of class. So we've had great results. I'd like to thank the PTO. The PTO sponsored a free breakfast for every student at every grade level. We did that, I believe, the last week in October. So we did 3 separate days, 1 day for 6th grade, 1 day for 7th grade, and 1 day for 8th grade. And that was just a kickoff program, kind of to give all the students an opportunity to sample the breakfast and spread the word. So they also spoke at one of our PTO meetings as well. Next up, I won't thank anybody in particular, but they know. So we do have a sidewalk at the rear of our building now, and it's very nice. It goes basically all the way along our property on the back side of the building to the end of the roundabout property, which now allows students who walk home to have a sidewalk away from the road where they can walk. It's going to be a saving grace for us in the winter time, as when the park road gets plowed, it becomes very narrow. So we're very happy about that. We're thankful to the board and central office for allowing that to happen. Last thing I'd like to speak about is honor roll. Since the report cards are out and we had our parent night, just to give everyone an idea, Roundabout has approximately 690 students, and for the first marking period, we had a total of 371 on the honor roll, which includes principal, high honor roll, and the honor roll. So we will be having our first grade level assemblies Tuesday, December 2nd, which is on our website, and we invite parents. You'll get invitations in the mail to please come in and join us in recognizing the achievements of our students to this point in the year. And that is everything I have for right now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Soltish, and your administrative team and all the teachers at Roundabout for the good work that you're doing there.
We have a motion for executive session.
Motion to adjourn to executive session to review the employment history of a particular individual, and the board will return as soon as possible.
Second.